Section 3, Note Taking Study Guide, page 148. Please be in your textbook on page 328. The question we're going to kind of answer is, what are the causes of the Texas War for Independence and the Mexican War, and what are the effects of that? So we'll talk about Texans' independence first. The first thing is that American settlers in Texas came into conflict with the Mexican government because they were slaveholders. The Mexican government had abolished slavery, but American settlers still had slaves. So in 1830, Mexico banned further American settlement because they didn't want any more slaves. The second is, after Santa Anna established a dictatorship, Texans, or mostly American Texans, declared independence. In response to this, Santa Anna invaded Texas and laid siege to an Alamo mission in San Antonio, and this is where they were defeated. Everybody at the whole mission was killed by Santa Anna. And even though the Texans were defeated, this event inspired many Americans to join the volunteer Texan Army. So people mostly from the South went to Texas and joined their military. Later, the Texans defeated Santa Anna's army at San Jacinto, and there's a couple things. First, Sam Houston became president of the United States of Texas. He hoped that the United States would annex Texas, but public opinion in the United States was divided because, we'll come back to this issue of slavery, admitting Texas would disrupt the balance between slave and free state. So if Texas became a state, there'd be more slave states in the Senate, and obviously free states didn't want that. Eventually, the United States did annex Texas and also Oregon. First, James K. Polk negotiated the treaty with Britain to divide Oregon, which became the state of Washington, Oregon, and part of Idaho. And the second is the tension with Mexico increased because Mexico never recognized Texas independence in the first place. And so eventually the United States claimed the southern Texas border was the Rio Grande, while Mexico claimed it was the Nueces River further north. So this in between those two rivers is disputed land. This eventually leads to the Mexican-American War. When war broke out between Mexico and the United States, it was most popular among Southerners and Westerners who wanted more land. Many Northerners, however, opposed this because they thought it was an attempt to extend slavery. So they saw it. Southerners and Westerners said, "Hey, more land," and Northerners thought, "You're just trying to extend slavery." Stephen Kearny led troops to capture Santa Fe and later New Mexico and then eventually California. General Zachary Taylor won a victory at the Battle of Buena Vista, and the American army under General Winfield Scott captured Veracruz and then marched on to Mexico City. Eventually, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo formally ended the war, and under this treaty, Mexico recognized Texas independence and ceded a vast territory known as the Mexican Cession to the United States. This territory included California, Nevada, Utah, parts of Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. So this is called, again, the important part is the Mexican Cession. This is where a huge portion of the United States became part of the United States from Mexico. And the last kind of purchase or acquisition from Mexico was the Gaston Purchase in 1853. The United States paid Mexico $10 million for a narrow strip of present-day Arizona and New Mexico because they saw it as a route for railroads.